What's going on, boys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a pretty stacked video for you guys. We actually go ahead and take the boosted hatch out on the road. We do a couple boost pulls for you guys. We do a little bit of car vlogging. Something I haven't done a lot of on this channel. I think the last time I even did it was in the Veloster. But we take the Civic on a rip today, but first and foremost, we have a little bit of work to do. The crank windows in this car, I hardly ever use them. I drive the car maybe 5-10 times a year, and I've had it since 2018. And for whatever reason, the driver's side window wanted to pop off the track. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, that it only popped off the track. Nothing in there actually screwed up, because that would just suck. Finding a track for that or replacing a door, and after we repainted it and trying to get the color matched, it's just no thanks. So I want to dive into that window first and foremost, but I also can't even put a jack under the front pinch welds because it's so low. I guess the turbo kit added just that much weight in the bay to where it compressed the suspension that much more, to where I literally can't slide a jack under the front pinch weld without the front tires being up on blocks, and I can't fit it on the front cross member where you jack up the front of the car without the front bumper being off. And I'd like to fix that, because not only does it suck not being able to jack up a car, when you're driving it and going over little pebbles and crevices in the road and you can hear your downpipe and V-band scraping, it's a little too low. It looks hot, the fitment's good, but I need to address that today. If you guys have been watching for a long time, you know that the height adjustment is maxed out on this, but the preload is super soft. So what I think is I'm going to adjust the preload to compress the spring. It should give us a little bit more height and be a little bit more stiff. So when we hit those bumps, there's not as much compression scraping the bottom of the turbo kit. Will it work? We'll find out. First things first, let's rip this door card off and see if I can't fix this window. All right, so in order to get this door card off to properly look at everything, I need to take off the window winder, which sucks. It's those like U-clip things. They're a pain in the butt. One screw here, and I think just one screw, yeah, one screw in here. This will pop off, this will come out, and we can take the winder off, pop this door card off, because right now, as you can already see, it's shambles. Like, when I say popped off the track, I mean it's really popped off the damn track. All right, let's tackle the hardest thing first, which is gonna be this window winder. Of course, it's a bit of a pain in the butt, but I think we'll be able to attack it like that. I find that these little J picks are usually the best for this. Okay. And I just lost the pin. Hopefully I can find that, because I don't have any more. Good news, boys, we found it. If you guys never taken these off, that's the clip I'm talking about, right there. Pain in the butt, absolute pain in the butt. But it actually wasn't that bad. I've done it enough now. The first time I did it, I was like, this is the worst thing ever. But once you have the right tools and you kind of understand how they work, it's not the end of the world. Next, let's take off this cup, this shroud for the handle and the lock. We should be meant to pop this door card off. And I'm a little scared to see what's behind it, to be honest, but let's get this off. All right, another piece off. Keep everything together. And now we have this door handle piece. This should just pop up like that. Now, take the card off. Just like that. Slide this under the door. And let's try and find where it's popped off. Oh, good Lord. Okay, guys, so I think I've got it in the right place. There's a track that goes from here all the way down here, and it was popped behind it. I now have it popped in there, but there's a lot of tension when you're winding it up, and it's still a little cockeyed. It made a couple big loud like pops. But this outer trim here is kind of stuck from what it looks like. So if I pull that out and then put this up, look at that. Boys, we did it. The window is back on the track. Oh, that was my biggest stressor of the day. I didn't even film it because I didn't even know what I was doing. You guys think I know what I'm doing? I really don't. The thing is that I just do it. And now I know how to do it, because you see that action? That's a working window. Now, when I wind it down and then wind it all the way up, it does kind of still lean to this side. Like I can grab it and kind of shove it back a little bit more, but the track must be a little bent or something from it falling off, because I don't know what else would cause that. It's in the grooves. It's in the marks, but I can still, so I'm gonna call it good. There we go, boys. We're all done. Let's try and raise up the suspension via the preload. All right, considering we can't jack this car up any other way, we're gonna go ahead, have to take the bumper off, chop the zip ties, take those bolts off, slide that off, jack it up from the front, get some jack stands in there, adjust both sides, and hopefully we get a little bit of height. If not, at least it'll be a little stiffer, so when it hits those divots, it doesn't have as much, you know, give in the road and scrape the underside of this car. So let's go ahead, bumper off, wheels off. Let's start. Alrighty, boys, car's jacked up, wheels are off. Now, we've got our spanner wrench set here, and basically what we're gonna do, let me get some light on here for you guys. Whoops. Usually when you go to adjust height, it's the very bottom red collar, this one right here. But our threads are all the way at the top. So now what we're gonna do, there's two red collars up there. We are gonna go ahead and tighten those, and that's gonna put more preload on the spring, which is a good thing. We're not gonna do too much because right now it is a little bit soft and squishy of a ride, so I want it more stiff overall, and if it gives us just a hair more height, I'm good with that. But we're gonna be attacking those two top red collars and basically tightening the spring into the top of the strut tower, giving it some more preload and hopefully a little bit of height. And just before we get started, I went ahead and took pictures of both sides and the height adjustment that's there in case we need to go back to it. But these two top red collars, we're gonna be compressing the spring up, giving it a little more preload today. We're gonna see if that gains us any height. Gotta look for the most banged up ones because I don't use them all, I only use two, and I'm pretty sure that the most banged up ones are gonna be the two that I use. All right, now that this is done, we've gone from 2 inches from the bottom second collar to the very bottom base collar. We were at 2 inches to begin with, and now we're at exactly 2 1/4. I'm gonna go ahead, adjust the other side off camera to 2 1/4. We're gonna lower it down. Maybe it didn't get us any height, but at least it won't be so plush, like riding like a Cadillac. It'll have a little more preload to it, and we should be all set, boys. Okay, so how I set the preload the first time is these two top collars here, I made them loose, so the spring itself was loose, and then I snugged it up by hand, and then I took the topmost collar and threaded it up enough to where I could fit this wrench in between the lower collar and the upper collar, and then I set it there. I learned that from one of LZ's videos, so shout out to him. What I'm doing now is I'm doing that once over. As you can see, there's enough clearance in there to where it's holding the wrench in by itself. As you can see, kind of, I can slide the wrench in between it, and that's what I'm going for. I'm just doubling down on what I did initially. Now I'm going to tighten the bottom collar up against the top collar, move to the other side, drop the car down, and see if we got anything out of that. And there we have it. Both sides are adjusted now. These coilovers are essentially, whoops, I don't need a tape measure. I need a light. These coilovers are essentially maxed out. What I mean by maxed out is you can see all the exposed threads there. There's only enough room for thread from the bottom of the coilover to the top thread. There's about that much threads up there, so there's not much left in the tube. You don't want to go more than that. And then my top preload adjustment is running out of threads up top. There's maybe 1 or 2 threads above the top red ring. So we're maxed out on preload and maxed out on height. These coilovers are very low. They're like very stancy, low coilovers. So might be looking at some BCBRs to get a little more height and ride quality out of the car. Because since this is max preload and max height, it's obviously going to be quite stiff. But I want to go ahead, put the wheels and tires back on, drop this thing down and see if we gained any height. Because if you don't remember, the tire was basically touching the fender. So let's go ahead, assemble it all, and fingers crossed, we get some more height. All right, boys, wheels and tires are back on. Let's go ahead, drop this thing on the floor and see if we gained any height. Regardless, we're coming out on top because we need more preload. The ride height was way too soft and cushy. So we'll have that now at least, but I am hoping we get just even a smidge of ride height. Oh yeah, we got a lot of ride height. Make sure it's settled. Wow, we got a lot of ride height out of that. I'm surprised. Boys, without even looking at the fitment, you know how I know we got a lot of ride height out of that? Before, the jack could hardly fit under this cross member. Now it fits under the damn traction bar. That is crazy. We definitely gained some ride height out of that. Now let's check the fitment. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's much better. We're poking ever so slightly, but it's like perfect fitment. And we got 1 finger of room now. Before was credit card fitment, now we've got 1 finger. This is great. Big moment of truth is gonna be, can my jack slide under the front pinch rails? Let's find out. Boom, baby, yes it can. Yes it can. That is perfect. A1, man. These things are maxed out and they're stiff. Like, it goes right back. There's no rebound. These things are stiff, but fitment, A1. Love that. With that being said and done, we have fixed the fallen driver's side window off the track. She is now good to go, mint condition. And we have officially maxed out the coilovers, height and preload adjustment. And we got exactly the height we wanted out of it. Perfect fitment, I love it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But let's go fast forward to yesterday's Brash Garage. Take this thing out for a rip, shall we? Today, we're taking her out for a drive. That's right, we got a little POV drive action going on for you guys. Just finished doing a whole bolt check on the car. We should be absolutely mint. Let's go ahead, fire it up, pull it out, and hit the road, and hopefully I can POV with you guys with this little mount I got. So let's get this thing fired up, let's get the mount installed, and hopefully you get some POV action. All right, boys, here we are in the Civic. We got her just warming up here, and we're about to hit the road. We'll pick it up once we actually get to not the city with stop and start. All right, boys, we are up and at 'em. Cruising the Civic to a good spot right now. It's freaking freezing cold out today, so temps are staying perfect. Honestly, a little cold, a little on the cold side. I haven't done a car vlog in forever. I don't even know when the last time I did one was. Like, I think it would have had to been in the Veloster, but my aftermarket water temp gauge is kind of a piece of shit. It reads about 10-15 degrees hotter than what Honda tells me the ECT is, but Honda tells me in Fahrenheit, and this gauge is in Celsius. So doing the conversion and kind of figuring it out, basically 90 degrees Celsius should be pretty close to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. But when this gauge is at 90, the Honda says we're at about 175, 180. So we're about 10-15 degrees off there, which is good, because every time I just look at this gauge, I thought it was accurate, and I'm like, why are we running so hot? Turns out we're not. It's just not accurate. So there's that. Just trying to get to set location now, though. For whatever reason, my speedo does not want to work today. I don't know why. Literally the last time we drove the car, when we got it tuned on the 10-pound tune that made 7 pounds, speedo worked completely fine. Now it doesn't. Don't know why. Classic. Big old train tracks. I hate my life. Hate my life. Jesus Christ. I hate that so much.
It's been an adventure though, getting this car out today.
It has been, yeah. I checked the oil when I was letting it warm up in the driveway, and she was a little low. Not like concerning. It was on like the low mark. It wasn't bare, or it wasn't just like a drop on the dipstick, but it was definitely on the low mark. So I put, I don't know, maybe half a liter in, if that. We are on the back road now, and we're gonna start getting after it here in a little bit. Right now we're kind of just putzing along, having a good time, so I'll pick it back up when we start to do some actual pulls here and whatnot. I hate it. I hate it. This car with the solid mounts and the stiff suspension makes for
So comfy.
enjoyable ride. I kind of want to do a second gear hit and a third gear. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Gotta be safe, fellas. You don't want to be putting other people at risk. You gotta do this shit in a safe manner. All right, boys. Second gear wrap. We just went from 85 degrees to 91 on my incorrect gauge in that one pull. Old Betsy moves! Oh, dang! Get into boost in every gear now. Yeah, I mean, this thing fucking throws down, boys. It sounds so good now. You just get into a little bit of boost. Someone did burnouts here, there's stripes. How are we feeling about the Civic, boys? I'm having an absolute ball driving this thing. It's running like a champ. My window fell off the track and it's 9 degrees Celsius. We're freezing cold in here, but
We're sticking it out.
it doesn't even matter. We're driving the Civic, baby. Most of my drives, I don't film the Civic because I do so much work on it. I like to just simply go enjoy it for me. I probably should film more of the drives for you guys, but I honestly just take it out and enjoy it for what it is, really. But here we go, we're finally doing a POV video. I'm hyped about it. Like I said, the car is running absolutely top notch. I love this thing, knock on wood and shit, but she's just a gem. She's just a gem. I love this car to death. Turbo kit, it's working awesome. It's build and boost, it's only 7 pounds, but this thing scoots, baby. Hope you guys can hear me because we're using the stock iPhone camera and mic, not the big camera because it doesn't fit on the dash. The way the EG hatch dash is, there's not a lot of room from the top of the dash to the window. My camera is physically, my real camera that I record videos on is physically too big to sit in there. And yes, I have a wide angle lens, but it's still not as wide as the iPhone, so it doesn't really capture it well. So I have to use the iPhone. Hopefully the quality is good enough. Probably the mic is probably going to be the worst part. So here we are. We're doing it though. Okay, boys. We're gonna go for a couple rips here. We're turning around. We're at the good road, nobody around, middle of fucking nowhere. Spin a little tire for you, bud.
So unprepared for that.
Alright, let's hit another one. This thing likes to party. This thing likes to party.
You like to party.
This thing feels sick, man.
It's so light, it just kicks up.
Oh. Do you want to play? All right, Eli, brother. These are for you. I'll do a little second to fourth and shit. Just wait till we get to the top of this hill. Look at behind us. Oh, it sounds impeccable.
So good.
Ah, all right, boys. I'll pick you back up at the shop. Well, I think I found where our boost leak's coming from. Just got back to the shop, opened this thing up, and my freaking blow-off valve clocked itself. I think it's safe to say that shitty Chinese blow-off valve is the source of the boost leak. Still rips though. All right, guys, well, there we have it. We took the Civic out for a rip today and it went fantastic. Thing rips hard. I hope you guys enjoyed the pulls. Not the longest video ever, but like I said, when we take this out, we just want to enjoy it. I filmed what I could. Like 90% of the time, we're just sitting there silent, enjoying the car, hitting the twisty turnies, hitting some boosts. So pretty much all the action we got today, hitting boosts, I got on camera for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. And until next one, comment, like, subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.